a little bit of a delay, which is a good thing because I think it's going to start right about now. So, hello everyone. If you're watching on YouTube, I would like to tell you that I'm going to be selling some things on Whatnot, or at least talking to people through the Whatnot app, and that's how you get the full experience. Let me get the Whatnot app to start that show. And I know this may not make any sense, but it's basically doing it separately on separate devices. Um, if you have an iPhone, you can simulcast. I use Android, and if you do simulcast off any device, let's start our show here. Go live. Yes, we want to go live. We're waiting. There's one person already. We already got an alert. Oh my gosh, this is exciting. This is exciting. Hello. Hold on, I gotta be able to read. DTD live. Do you YouTube? Are you a YouTuber? And Kat, help me out. Go to YouTube if you can. This should be showing up live on YouTube, and I need to make sure that I can replicate this setup. And you helped me so much last spring when I was trying to do dual live streams. So I would really appreciate it if you could go to the YouTube live and just make sure the video quality is okay. I'm not going to be paying attention to the chat on YouTube. So I got to focus here. Okay. And DTD Live, you must be a new shopper. That looks like something. I'm sorry. I'm just being like internet nosy and trying to look at your profile, but whatever. You're allowed to shop wherever you want to shop. Oh, you've got a lot. Oh, you're a new seller, Donna the discounter. Oh my gosh, good for you, Donna. Welcome and thank you for coming in the show. I will recommend. And thank you, Kat. I will recommend, Donna, that you bookmark a show. Thank you so much, Kat, for confirming, and that everything looks good on YouTube. And Donna, if you can YouTube and you can pull it up too, the more test subjects there are, the better this will work. And if I save time, I can sell more stuff. Okay. I can give you guys better deals, is what I'm trying to explain. But if I have to spend half the show tinkering with the technology, that is just not useful. Okay, there you go. And if you need to do any, oh, well, Donnie, you're going to be a moderator, so you can test that out as a new user. And Kat, I'm going to make you a moderator too. Really, what moderators can do is you can see hidden chat if something gets blocked, and then also you can remove people from the room if they're getting out of hand. But you know, this isn't a craft category, so I don't think that's going to happen. But noob, please go to your YouTube, stay home to shop. This live should be showing there as well as on Whatnot. And the more people watching, the better test it's going to be. So we are going to be starting a new reward season today, except I'm not quite ready to launch my rewards just yet. Now, if you have any rewards from last season, I can tell you how to check those. Basically, you're going to go to your profile, and then on your account tab, like one half of it says Rewards Club. I think the dashboard is still showing last season. I'm not 100% sure. But there's not a crown above my head unless there is. So this will be a fun one. Oh, and Don, I was going to invite you to the ship show, which is every other Thursday. We have one coming up this Thursday, and it's always the same time, which is 1 p.m. Eastern. And on the ship show, we bring together sellers from all different categories and talk about different issues and try to get a solution or a problem solved before the end of the hour. So it's really meant to be fast paced. And I'm just going to go here. Thank you. Thank you. I love over notifications. They are so super. I mean, remember like the days, well, maybe you don't. Maybe it's like pre-birth for some people. But remember the days like if you got one or two emails, it was a big thing. Like now you get like a notification every 5 seconds. And it's not a big thing. Oh my gosh. Um, so we lost our power setup. So now I'm fixing that. And I know it looks on the other side, I know it looks very amateurish as these setup mistakes happen. So I'm not trying to torture you guys. I will sell stuff. I will give you my best pricing, and I will tell you a little bit about the rewards club that I'm planning to launch this week. I have loved Whatnot Rewards, and I hope that you have as well. And because it's so easy, all you have to do is buy stuff, and the more stuff that you buy, you qualify for discount coupons. At the gold level, you can also get invited to private shows. So just imagine that, okay, you don't have to be at gold level, but just imagine that if you're watching this now on Whatnot, that you were one of like a dozen people. Thank you. Kat mentioned the audio quality is really good on YouTube. So please, if everybody will go to that live and just run them both, and that is definitely going to be so helpful. Please go to the YouTube. Keep the live on the YouTube running for this show. And this is the first time I've tried to live stream live this year. So it's taken me a while to get comfortable enough again to try that out as an option. Okay, so rewards season technically starts today. I'm not ready to launch the rewards just yet because I've looked at the numbers and they're good, but they weren't quite where I would want them to be because I would have wanted more people to be at gold and above for private shows. So the example I was using is if like you were one of a dozen people who got to see this, you would be, purchasing or bidding on items that nobody else is seeing. So it really reduces your competition, especially if you kept your coupons or if I had a special guest. I did a reward show last season with an artist, and a couple people were able to kind of go through her studio and her art collection, and she basically did a private showing. And that is the kind of thing that rewards make possible if it's a smaller group. So I do love rewards. I'm not giving up on rewards. And I want to see your comments on Whatnot Rewards as well. If you use them, if it helps you shop, if it encourages you to shop, because I had a consultant tell me that at the higher levels, the discount coupons weren't motivating anybody to spend more. They were going to spend that, period. So, so then I thought, well, wait a minute. If we rebudgeted and I did bigger discounts at the lower levels, would that have moved people up to gold, which is right in the middle? And you can run any number of financial projections and get the numbers to turn out any way you decide. But I'm trying to find a setup that works. So last season, which ended yesterday, for every reward tier, you were getting 2 coupons and they were increasing in value. So with bronze, it started at 15, I think. Then gold would have been 20. Silver would have been 20. Gold would have been 25, platinum 30, and then diamond, it was 250% off. But I'm not 100% sure. I might be off by 5% on those. But as the reward levels increased, your discount increased. And but the problem again was I didn't get enough people into the gold and higher to use the private show feature, just like we're pretending like that's what this is, because you get to ask questions, you get to make special requests. Diamond members during any show can make a request, and any reasonable request is a yes answer. Okay, so and that can be something as simple as, can you pull a certain color of an item, or do you have any new stuff because I sell such a variety. So uh, I keep closing this notification. So I'm watching the Whatnot chat. The Whatnot chat and YouTube are just totally different. And what I've noticed is that, oh, okay, I know you guys want to shop. I'm trying to get stuff that you can just shop. You get that dopamine rush when you get a good deal, right? But it's got to be good for everybody. So I have no inventory in this show. Wow. Okay. Do I have any buy it now stuff? No, I don't. Uh, do I have giveaways? Oh wait, I might have buy it now. Oh, I have a YouTube short. If anybody wants me to make a YouTube short, I can do that for you. What else? Uh, so yeah, so and these are kind of the frustrations that somebody newer to Whatnot would be going through on one of their early shows. They'd be having these problems. So even as an experienced seller, trying to get ready in advance, I'm still hitting some of these same problems. So don't feel like it's you, it's everyone. I'm going to import from inventory, just some auction stuff. And if there are special requests, put those in the Whatnot chat. But if there are pieces of information that aren't necessarily appropriate for shopping, because Whatnot does filter out inappropriate comments, YouTube is still a platform that you can communicate on and not distract anybody else in the room. So you're allowed to do both. I would love it if everybody had these. I'm giving you guys some really good stuff. I would love it if you had both running, and then you'll be able to see kind of compare the quality. It's going out on two different devices. Okay, so that's kind of the technicals. And I try to be really upbeat and optimistic, but yeah, 2004 was not my best year selling online, and it's definitely, I don't know, it's opened my eyes to a lot of things. There was a huge trade-off for convenience and money. So I'm not sure, but I still plan to do Whatnot no matter what. And I will continue the ship show. The ship show has brought so many amazing people together. Um, I would not in that, and there you go. But yeah, so in exchange for the convenience of just holding up items, it really did impact the final total for the year. And so this year I'm trying to get it readjusted back on the right uh, track. And I do welcome your suggestions in the Whatnot chat. I remember one of my earliest shows, one of the suggestions was maybe you could like read some of the book before you try to sell it, because I was trying to give them a little preview of the book or tell people what the book was about, but I was just looking at the back of the cover. So, and it says no inventory on auction. So on Buy It Now, it shows something. So yeah, on Buy It Now, it definitely shows something. And on auction, I usually do just a generic listing. If you watch the shipping video on YouTube, that has been a fabulous success. So thank you so much. It has been my most popular video, and I say my, but it was really the result of the fact that I host the ship show each week, and I've gotten some really good tips from other sellers. And I'll yeah, two antique dinner plates. Why not? We're adding things. So usually what I do is I have a listing for items that are going to weigh less than 1 pound. I have items that are going to weigh at least 1 pound, but no more than 5. And then I have listings for anything that's over 5. I'll have those weights separated. So it'll be like lightweight, best rate, and heavyweight. And the reason I say best rate is between 1 and 5 pounds, Whatnot has a $9.21 shipping price that is unbeatable. It's so good, and it covers that whole area in between. So usually I just kind of keep my listings very basic. Uh, but there have been some changes. Has anybody noticed some of the recent enhancements that Whatnot has rolled out? Because I've seen some, but I don't know if I've seen them all. Uh, okay, well, I think I can just pin this. So I'm just going through some inventory that's showing up. Um, it is always a good idea to be ready with shows in advance. Uh, but it's impossible to know what's going to happen. My biggest issue recently has been the video quality and the equipment not working. So, okay, hey, let's start an auction. Let's make this really long to give me a little recovery time here so I can catch up on the chat. And so, okay, so I do have a whole set of antique plates. If anybody would like, you're bidding on two, and I can show you the actual plate, but the photo basically is what the item is. And if there's only two people in the room, that makes it super convenient. So hi, Cat Rose. So yes, we are testing out Whatnot's a couple features, but really the YouTube live feature. And apparently the quality is really good on YouTube. So that's kind of amazing. On my Whatnot screen, it's a little jerky. It's a little frozen at times, but not bad enough that I think I need to reset the show, unless you guys tell me that. So I'm just watching the comments. Waffle Fox, where you know what? I know you, and the reason I know Waffle Fox is Gin Deals, who co-hosted. We rated into you at the end of the last ship show, which would have been a couple weeks back. So I know you were having a very successful show, and I hope that getting some additional audience also helped along the way. So thank you. Okay. I'm just looking at things. It's hard to finger type. And this is one of the reasons why there's a huge I'll say quality difference or setup difference. Oh, we didn't rate you. Then there's another waffle somebody. But come to the ship show on Thursday, and it might be you this week. Okay, so here's one thing, and we do have an active auction running. There are always things that you can purchase during my live streams, no matter what. But I wanted to show this off because I got this, and this is from a seller named The Nutty Squirrel. And on the other side, it's just got my address label. And I thought it was the most amazing custom artwork that I've ever seen for a small business, or really any business. And this is the front, so you don't get to see it all. Me being me, I would love it if it was printed, the business name was printed, but I'm not going to tell anybody how to run their business. And I just think this is so memorable that I'm never going to forget who I bought this from, right? So so I'm gonna read off a comment about YouTube. Yes, that's exactly the point. That is exactly the point. Just watch on YouTube for the quality, and and again, if Whatnot freezes up, you've got a backup and it keeps going. Because sometimes on the other side, you have to leave the room, re-enter, or restart the app. And so I recommend you leaving the YouTube up if you can, if you got a second device. And also, yes, come to Whatnot for the chat, because that's the thing that the YouTube audience doesn't participate in the same way. It's not the same. It's not the same concept. But I will go with your opinions. Journey to Morningstar, welcome. So I'm showing off the Nutty Squirrel. This is the packaging that she made, custom graphic. I'll never forget it. This was actually a giveaway. It was a giveaway, and this is a coaster with a a different graphic, but it's a magnet. It's a magnet coaster. So I want to give you guys a little encouragement and inspiration if you have tried selling on Whatnot, and if you have tried shopping on Whatnot. I want you guys to know this is the effort that goes into successfully attracting an audience. You have to take it serious, and I just feel that, dollar for dollar, you get a lot more shopping on Whatnot than you do at a big corporation store. Sammy why was my 2024 financially? The results were, so I'm new to you. Make sure you're watching all of my YouTube videos. It's like a documentary. There is a playlist that says Whatnot, and at different times of the year, you're going to see me go from start to where I'm at today. And I'm glad you pointed that out. So you don't even know the fact that I started selling online in 2022 on a different platform. Starts with the letter E. I can't ever remember the rest. But anyway, and had a good first year. And I was shocked at how popular the items I was putting up were, because I was just offering good deals and discounts that I'd gotten through extreme couponing, clearance shopping, store closing buyouts, whatever. I was just passing on some of my savings. So it was like, oh my gosh, I put it up, it would sell, it would sell, it would sell. I did that for 2002. And then at the end of 2003, things had changed a little bit. And there is a YouTuber who also resells in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. And when she broke down her numbers, her sales on the platform I had been using, not Whatnot, were a third of her total sales. So am I going to sell things from Joann's as it liquidates? It's impossible. But I think that there are better deals just buying what you want. You saw me and you remember my name, so you want to check me out. Green 13, maybe. Exactly. And that's the kind of thing that on Whatnot, it does have that connectivity effect that on YouTube, it doesn't really work the same. But I'm not trying to bash either platform. I'm explaining it's different. So I should have mentioned before I ever did any selling online, I started a YouTube channel, and it was about how to do digital extreme couponing. That's how I ended up with such a huge oversupply. That's why I started selling it, and it was selling. And I thought, oh my gosh, like, this is amazing. Like, how can this not be a work? And thank you. Sammy says, my name is memorable. And thank you very much. It's always been stay home to shop. And most people will think of stay at home to shop because that's more conversational. But the search engines and the algorithms have caught up to that. So yes, I appreciate that. And so anyway, so I started out on YouTube, switched my focus to a different platform, gave that a good 2 years. But when I heard that somebody else had basically doubled the amount they sold on the platform I was selling on, I was looking at my numbers thinking, well, if it was half of that, like in other words, if I got 100% increase, not a 200% increase, I'd be delighted. So I came onto Whatnot and I gave it full effort, thread and books, because if I'm gonna take on a new challenge, I'm not gonna dabble in it. I'm gonna go like extreme, and that's how you get an extreme coupon haul. That's how you save more than $10,000 at CVS, even though I have not shopped there in the last 2 years. That's how you donate 10,001 item to a homeless shelter for pregnant women. You got to take it on full force. You can't just say, well, if I eventually reach that number, it'll be nice. It's like, no, we're going to hit that number. So last year, I was really trying to plow through Whatnot and sell at and above what I had been doing just with static listings on a different site. And I sold about a quarter. And I can't blame people for that, because there is a totally different dynamic when it's live selling through video than when it's advertising a product. And so I just, I don't normally talk anything about my numbers, but yeah, um, that was a little scary. I want to open up the discussion because Sammy asked the question, what do I think drove that? So for folks who have seen me first time or a lot of times, give me your feedback. Why do you think I would have been selling less when I came on camera and started presenting versus when I put up a static listing on a different site, or even if it was static on Whatnot? Let's say a static listing versus a live listing, and I would love to know. I am going to put in a filler because I want to be able to auction off things like this. This, I don't know if it was a giveaway, but I try to buy from other sellers who are, who need a little boost, and it makes me feel good when I do that. Okay, we're gonna do that, and so yeah, if you have to do something on the fly, it is possible to do it. You just kind of have to keep talking. The one rule that I learned with Whatnot is never stop talking, no matter what. Like, even if like I'm falling down the stairs, I'm going to keep talking. I'm telling you that I'm not falling down the stairs, but if I were falling down the stairs, I would keep talking, keep talking. Once you stop talking, people just like disappear. Or assume the very worst. So I'm going to call this other Craft Supplies because that's what I like to do. But yeah, I would love the audience to help participate in this because I'm not blaming Whatnot or the audience or anybody. I'm not even blaming the economy. Let's see. And so for shipping profiles, I know this is going to be lightweight. It may be as light as 3 ounces since I don't have a scale. I can be off by a few ounces and it's not going to cost the customer anything extra. I just have to go in and change the weight before I ship it on the back end. So no big deal. And there's something in here. So we're going to discover what that is. So let's say I only have this one bag, but this is a generic. So we're calling it lightweight. And I will love to catch up on the chat as soon as I finish this. Okay, so I now have lightweight that I can auction, I think. Yeah. Pin that, and then we're going to start an auction. And we're going to let it run for 3 minutes because this is really a good show to tidy up anything. If you want to like buy a big haul, let's get it over with now. If you've got questions or you look more for the information and entertainment, let's get those questions going. But yeah, this is really kind of audience open mic almost. Why I only sold last year than the year before. Yes. Oh, well, thank you. And so basically what I'm seeing in the chat is that, that they enjoy the way that I present things. But, there are a lot of people though. And Kat, watch the entire watch list of Whatnot. You'll be reminded of the year and how things evolved. When I first started, I had an oversupply of craft supplies. This is what you're bidding on, just in case. And since it's already active, we are going to play by auction rules. This does have inside of it an address book. So what I'm showing you is exactly the item you're getting. But so the reason that I think the sales were so drastic and opposite of what I would have wanted, number one is to do live shows. It does take time. It's just not item by item. The one thing that people do not enjoy if they're on Whatnot is creating product listings where they have to take photos, measurements, and wait for somebody to find it on the internet. We want to sell this for $3. Inside of a store, you would pay at least $3 for the bag. And this is kind of just a cute little address book. So the pricing right now, and I see Annette, thanks so much. So the pricing right now is less than retail. However, again, it would sell for higher prices on a static listing when eventually the ultimate buyer is searching maybe for tropical, I just think this is cute, clutch or something like that, retro or address book even. So it would sell for more, but it would take longer. And it does take a while though to sell live. And that's the other component, is for every product, there is now a time invested here. Thank you, Kat. I appreciate your feedback, and I'm sure I'll see you again. So now this cost me 3 minutes, and I don't want to waste anybody's time. I'm just trying to kind of give you a different perspective, because, you know, if you go into a really fast-paced category, you can see prices shoot up in the thousands. But that's 3%. No, excuse me. That's 97% of Whatnot's, you know, profits and sales. Everything else is 3%. The top 4 categories apparently are 97% of what's sold on Whatnot. So the faster something sells, you can get those prices really high. If it takes a while longer, and I reran this, it's going to cost another 3 minutes. And then eventually, if I decided, okay, it's just not going to sell during a live show because I don't have fashion buyers, then it's going to take more and more time, and then I'm going to have to wait. So originally, when I had a huge overstock of craft supplies, these are small, lightweight items, which were perfect not to list online, but to just hold it up and say, who wants to buy these? And that was true with like different paints, different canvas sizes, different pads of artist paper. Like I had so much. I had 3 totes. So basically about where the sign is behind me, I was stacked probably to the top of the books. And then I was just digging for stuff. So, so I dug for these for you. So I really hope that I'm reading the comments on Whatnot. I really hope you appreciate that. Okay, so let's do that. So we're going to do these as a lightweight, and I'm going to push the start auction button. I typically do 30-second auctions, which is long for most people. Most people would rather do it for, 20 seconds. However, I got to do everything solo. So, who wants to buy these? So who wants to buy these? We're starting at $2, and they are absolutely fantastic. It did work, and it still does work. But again, you've got to have the customer understand what it is and that it's worth paying for. And these are like little Post-it notes that are these sizes or these shapes that you're not going to find in an office supply store. And I'm going to put out a trivia question. What is the number one sticker that has sold more than any other anywhere in the world? And I see discount sales came in, so welcome. Feel free to get those questions in the chat and get the live stream on YouTube pulled up, and let me know throughout if anything weird happens on YouTube, because I'm not watching that chat. But YouTube loves Whatnot. Like people are watching the shipping video. They love that video. I mean, I showed people how I could save $4,000 in a year at CVS. They didn't love that video, but shipping for $9.21 is getting more views than a $4,000 savings. So at this point, I have a lot of time invested in everything that I put out on the internet. So I hope that you enjoy it, because it is worth watching. I keep it there as long as I think it's going to be useful. And that wasn't the end of the year total, but I thought it was the perfect time to just show off my little award tuxedo. And I put up, I made my own sets when I was doing my YouTube tutorials, and I used to make more of a set design in the back, but it's relative to what I'm selling. If it's gonna be higher priced, it's gonna be in a more polished atmosphere. If it's gonna be $2, $3, you get what you get, but you know that I'm telling you honestly and truthfully, because that is the differentiation line between who watches and comes back on YouTube, as well as who comes to my Whatnot shows. People who want more entertainment will not come back for my shows. But people who want entertainment with integrity or quality, they're the ones that are like super fans. So, and one of my bosses, I wouldn't have been able to articulate that at the time, but one of my bosses, when I graduated college, she said to me, and I really admire her. She was like a second mom. She said, "You need to be aware," and she said it with a smile. Okay, she said, "You need to be aware. Half the customers love you; they adore you," and and she's like, "And I'm one of those people." But half of them hate your guts. They just don't like you for whatever reason. She said, and I think you need to be aware of that, because I think that's going to present itself at different points in your career. So I won't tell you how many decades ago that was, but absolutely correct. So over explaining, but people tend to have love or hate reactions to me and the way I do things. Period. It's been that way since college, at least. And I'm not going back to my high school days. If you got nothing else other than knowing that the Nutty Squirrel has designed this beautiful custom artwork, and I will forever remember this, just know that, because a small business owner, they can do better than even the biggest companies in the world. Okay, but the trivia question that nobody answered, what is the most sold sticker in the world? Like, tell me what sticker has been sold the most times, for the most money, for the most whatever. Okay, so let me look at this comment. So the question is, yes, Sammy, you are correct. The Post-it note. The Post-it note. And just like I gave you a video that showed you how to save $4,000, I had these cute little Post-it notes that could make you $1,000 or $1 million, because I'm going to remember this package. I'm going to remember this as much as I remember like a UPS box. Okay. But these Post-it notes are also cute and unique, and being offered for $2, that somebody could use these to seal the deal, and nobody bid on them. So it's kind of sad, but that's okay. I have other stuff. And it's really how you use it. And I don't try to cater to the 50% of people who don't like me. And it's not an exact statistic, but I'm also okay with it too. Like when I get, before everything had to be like 99% positive or better, I'm okay with 50-50 on likes on videos, on lives, because it means that you basically did talk to both sides. You gave a balanced presentation. Okay, but yeah, there are some people who are really good at presenting, and they don't necessarily do well on social media or on selling. But there was like this sports broadcaster who was this guy who basically started straight out of college, and he had a good style. I liked him. I'm not into sports, but I liked his presentation style. And so when he retired from TV news, I just Googled, what happened to him? And he does radio now, but he also does YouTube videos, or he did a few, and his YouTube videos just did not get watched. Like it's the saddest fact. But if you are going a little gray, but you still have uh, light brown hair, you're gonna love this because even if it's not due to changing color, if you put a little colored hairspray on top of your head before photography, video, any special occasion, it does make your hair look fuller. It absolutely works. So what am I doing? Is this small lightweight? Start auction. So if anybody would like this, we'll start at $2. Uh, but keep those questions coming because I'm enjoying this. And I will tell you, this was a nice break from what I have been doing. I've been editing. Uh, that was a non sequitur random tip, and that's one of the funny things about the live shows is I don't script them, and because it's all me, it's all real. So if something falls on my head, it really happened. It wasn't like a stunt that was staged for social media likes. But this is running for $2, and so yeah, because I also think that people are overestimating the effect that number one, our AI technology, but really number two, live selling, video selling. I think we're really way overestimating what the real effect is going to be in the near future. Um, and I remember when people got way optimistic about the internet. I absolutely remember that. I remember people who sold their house and said they were quote unquote retired because they made so much money on internet stocks. And you know what? They're homeless now and they're working, a regular wage job. So I would not be too overly. Everybody should have a happy birthday. So let's make this $2. And you can hide something inside here if you want to. But what a party! You're a cupcake. Okay, so this is running for 30 seconds. Exactly what you're going to get. It's a piñata. And I was going to mention something else. This has been fun because it's been distracting me from doing some video editing. And I will say what the videos are. The Ship Show episodes, I've been going back and I'm posting them on YouTube. I'll keep them there as long as they're helpful. And previously, I didn't do that because Whatnot had a past shows feature that stayed active for 60 days. So anybody could just, if they couldn't make the show or they needed a refresher, they had a couple months, they could just go rewatch it. And it was something I didn't have to do anything extra. Just check the box, for the shows to be visible. Since that feature no longer is there, again, I'm not giving up. I'm not stopping something, but I'm going to have to adapt. And the way that you're adapting is instead of buying stuff, you're tipping me. That is an adaptation you can do, and I'm going to tell you exactly how you can do that. And on YouTube, I am so sorry. You're not going to be able to do this conveniently. But what you do is you go to the three little buttons up there under more, and it says tip. And so you could say, oh, I want to, tip 1, 5, 20. I think it'll let you go up to $100, and that's pretty awesome. Because one of the things, like any social platform that Whatnot has to do is it has to prioritize, and videos and shows that aren't actively selling, they tend to get deprioritized. But this is airborne. This is actually going to expire, and these are all just my opinions. They don't give out these secrets, as far as I'm aware. Expire of September of this year. So just in case you like to take a little extra vitamin or two, maybe you've been on an airplane or shopping mall or something, we're going to start this at $2 and let it roll. So I use these category definitions very loosely. So I have been editing past episodes of the Ship Show to get them YouTube ready to upload. I did finish the one with Gin Deals, Jendeals. And Gin Deals, if you think that my story is fun or interesting, she has a really good one. She has overcome every obstacle that has popped up. And we didn't even get into all of that background, but she had applied multiple times to sell on Whatnot and did not get approved. Um, she said that in her shows. That's been made public. I applied to Whatnot and I got approved within a day. So I didn't have to deal with um, resubmitting or finessing my yes, Gin Deals. You correctly spelled that, Sammy. And what you can do is you can actually put the at symbol in front of it and put it in the chat, and that's a hyperlink to her profile. So if you guys want to follow her, save her. She gives out a lot of really good, helpful tips. In fact, she took the time when she was packing up to answer a lot of my beginner questions. We had a private live stream, from what I remember, and she was trying to get her orders boxed up, but she was telling me all these things that I did not understand. So I had a private coach, and I didn't pay her for that. Um, we often sort of trade in kind, I guess, is what I'm trying to explain. But yeah, I would promote her. She's done wonderfully well. She has proven the success model where you can start at zero. That's where everybody is. You can build a six-figure business, and then you can be on track to make it $1 million business. And that's possible through Whatnot. So I'm not giving up on Whatnot, but we're definitely going to pump up those sales, okay? And Cindy says that you've had wonderful sellers on here help you. I am glad to hear that, Cindy. Now, this is dancing on the line of 15 ounces and 1 pound, but outside of Whatnot, I'll overestimate. On Whatnot, I tend to round down because we're going to bundle things anyway. But this is the most adorable cup, and it's amazing. It's for moms. It says number one mama. And look, it's like a little bit oversized too. Who makes it? It doesn't really tell me, but it is dishwasher microwave safe. It has a cute little gift tag. So little bargains like this are things that are always fun to pick up. You can directly gift ship things. Now this, I'd have to explain a little bit more, but that's definitely a time and money saver too. We're gonna start the auction. Okay. So what else should we discuss? I plan to be doing this at least an hour. If you've got rewards coupons, use them up. There is a 4-day overlap where you can still use last season's, but use all those discount coupons. So if somebody has a 20% off coupon, this is getting even less and less expensive. And you just add it to your wallet. When you qualify for it, Whatnot automatically deducts it from the sale price. And Cindy, I would love to know how long you've been Whatnotting. Because I didn't think of myself as an expert or a pro early days, but apparently, like after 1 month, you're old school. And I think at least 6 months and a year is better. So the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to change up the listing to be more heavyweight pieces, or I could run more lightweight items. Why don't I run this? I will run the pear if I can find the pear. These are little silicone. I thought they were for baking, but the more that I look at these look like resin molds or molds to me that you would make something in. But I'm sure they can't. They're food safe, so I'm sure they can be used. So we'll go ahead and just run the pair. You get one brown, one black. Excellent combination, especially if you do need to separate any of your food items, because some people do vegan, some people don't. Some people do dairy, some people don't. Some people do kosher, some people don't. So nice to have, one extra at least. And I would again, I'd love to see your experience on Whatnot, because it's different for everybody, and that is especially true with YouTube, because with YouTube they have this really interesting forecasting of what you want to see next. I don't know how people feel about that. I think some of those videos, it's like I could have lived a perfectly happy life without ever having to think about that. And if you are the kind of person who loves The Big Bang Theory, you're going to love this book because it's my life in graphs. And you can pull it out on a bad date also. You can start filling it out where you rank your past romantic partners. When the room gets quiet, I just have full stage, so I get to make the conversation go wherever I want, and we're just keeping everything at $3. And this shelf tag would be $14.95, but it's more of a specialty piece, so I'm not even sure that it was put inside a store shelf. Brand new condition, and you can pick up little bargains like this. But the reason that I think that AI is not going to affect us as much as people are saying, and I think video isn't gonna take down entire websites, is we've had these technologies. We have had video live shopping for decades. It's just now much more accessible. And we've also had AI, and now it's just much more accessible. So we've had them, and very few people can use those technologies effectively enough to really make a huge change or a big business, which is why I told you to follow Jen Deals, JenDeals. She was she may have been the show before, but she's up on my YouTube channel. It's The Ship Show. And just, you can't give too many good ideas, but like a lot of what she says makes so much truth. I mean, it's like it cuts through all the other filler material that you have to kind of get to the real raw answers. And I'm glad about that. Now, haters love to hate, and I'm not trying to get into a controversy or put myself in the middle here, because I've only ever talked to and worked with Jen Deals, JenDeals. But she has a hate video creator. And I don't, as far as I'm aware. Nobody actually starts making hate videos about me as soon as this one ends or whatever. Though it would be funny if they did. For about a day. It'd be funny for a day. But she has this hate content creator, and some of the insults, I'm aware of maybe a little bit more of her background because I've spoken with her, and the comments that are being made are really ignorant. And if you knew that, you wouldn't even say it. So I just love that though. But yeah, Jen Deals, she's up on video. Tristina, Tristina, Tristina's Attic. She is a seller who I need to put in a heavy best rate category, excuse me. And that's going to be anything between 1 to 5 pounds. Quick. And yes, I've always talked like this. And I've had so many non sequiturs. But occasionally I will come up with a good idea. Every once in a while. And I don't know the last time I had such a good idea. Let's see. 1 pound. Oh, and so sneak preview with next season's rewards, and I haven't made my final choice. The answer to the math problem of, well, what do you do if you need to at least quadruple sales? And I will tell you the answer. Number one, we obviously have to sell a higher price inventory mix, but don't give out as many coupons. So next, or this this coming season that we're in, and I'm going to launch rewards within a few days. Uh, they, the reality is, I was giving 2 coupons per tier, and the recommendation is to do 1 per tier. But priced appropriately, it actually does end up with 4 times the revenue. And I think that's the other thing that people don't see. Although I guess you get to see it somewhat if you watch like a Ship With Me video. We sell stuff and we get paid based on what we sell. But then after the show, after the purchase, we have to ship it. And shipping it is usually where it takes a lot of time and can cost a lot of money. And that's why I would have pointed toward Jindeal's story, because she tells the audience exactly what the multiplier was of what she was able to save when she outsourced her shipping. And so, but it's a 10x. She gets 10 times more in sales dollars than what she's paying to have her shipping done by other people. And this may stay a small room. It may grow larger. It doesn't have to. It's available. It's one of those potpourri shows that, you know, people can come in, ask questions, maybe find out about some stuff they didn't already know, and link YouTube to Whatnot, because otherwise Whatnot's kind of siloed. Does anybody else think that? I've noticed that among other, you know, similar companies, Whatnot seems to be more of a closed community. That is my impression. And I'm not hating on Whatnot. I'm just sort of giving you my observations, because my experience will always be whatever it is, and so will yours. And thank you. I see somebody is still listening, which is fabulous, because I'm reaching down to give you these amazing things. And I don't know what people swipe for, like what they're hoping to see in the crafts category. That's a question mark. So who's still in the room? Because I think you should have an HBD, which is happy birthday, and we're also going to toss in the garland. I'm not super duper discounting this show because, as I explained, my new rewards model will give 1 coupon per tier. Has not launched yet. And we got to kick up the sales at least 4 times what they were for last year. But it's doable. It's very possible. And sometimes it's really just making a deliberate choice, or how do I explain this? Like some of my supplies I could get for a lower price on a big website or at a store. But if a Whatnot seller is selling it, sometimes I'll say, I'll buy it from you. And I'm specifically thinking of somebody who shared that information, because, you know, where your money is going matters. Oh yeah, it matters. Now, if anybody likes silicone utensils, how convenient is this? It's a little silicone rest. So, oh, did I run those at? No, we're still on lightweight. Okay, we're good. Because the price of shipping I won't see, but it will show up on the bottom of your screen. And Marcia Reedaville says, thanks for your pink bling, Gibby. Everything you own is pink, including your hair. So yeah, well, you are absolutely welcome. And I'm glad it made it there. And we're going to start the auction here. Oh, did you see the coffee mug? Let me take this one down. We could actually, you know what? We'll make a combo deal. Woo! We're getting wild. We're doing the utensil holder plus the coffee mug, so you don't have to choose. You get both. Because I really want to show this one off. It's number 1 Mama, and it's Mama Azing. So this is a really cute mug, and it's actually got printing on both sides. I noticed details like that because I've sold, you know, millions of dollars in furniture and home decor, and every detail adds to the finished price. So I look for things like that when I'm watching other shows. What quality is the product? And I say, oh, here's something I can definitely do as a lightweight, because this has 5 fashionable masks. You can keep them for yourself, you can give them as gifts, or you could craft with the fabric. But the point is, I don't need them all. And start the auction. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure what people stop the scroll for. In the past, when I've had like scrapbooking paper, maybe, I guess, and people will stop and say, okay, let's see what else. But anything else, I mean, there are a lot of shows that show beads and jewelry, and I'm trying to think of other craftable items. I don't know. But I am so glad that the YouTube feed is working. So anybody who wasn't here at the start of the hour, please, please, please pull up the YouTube live feed, because I want to make sure that this setup does work, because Whatnot's video connectivity is different than YouTube. I'm not paying any attention to the YouTube chat. That I don't know what any comments are. But I am watching the Whatnot chat. And so on YouTube, you don't see the full conversation. Sometimes there are side conversations that are hysterical. In fact, during my first month of selling on Whatnot, I would love to be able to do this. Okay, so maybe we can bring up the past. So let's cheer ourselves on. It's got a birthday banner, and it's got 2 pom-poms, and we'll start our auctions at $2. But the first show, the first month I was selling on Whatnot, I would always, call people winners after they won an auction. And I still do, but not as extensively. And so there was a point in the show that I said, and I see a lot of big winners out there in the chat, so make sure you bid on whatever the item was. And one of this is a joke. This is a side conversation. This is a real auction item. No, you don't have to go to a sales conference to get these. You can purchase them after the fact. But the joke was, it was 2 friends teasing each other, and one said, well, I only see one big loser, and her name is, and she's like, I didn't know they were teasing each other, and I'm like, how do I block somebody? Like, I really thought she was like trying to be mean, but that's the other thing is, the jokes, if you get them, you get them. If you don't, you don't. But a lot of times we have to just kind of substitute different words. Country Roads with Michelle. You're always, I've noticed your shows at night. So you must be a night owl. But I also know you are a chef. And these are electric liners, stove liners. And I got a whole ton of these. So let's do a mega deal, because I'm not going to possibly use them all. I'm still here. Even if you can't see me, I'm still here. If you go to YouTube, the live is active. I'm actually going to pair up 4 sets. So that's going to be 4 dozen. 4 dozen, 48 pieces. Anybody who does not want to clean those, burner areas, this will definitely last. And it's super lightweight. So we will run these. And I'm just going to keep talking. So, yeah. That is funny. But I think if you watch a Whatnot live show without seeing the chat, it looks like somebody is just like schizophrenic and is like going crazy. It looks like they're like slipping away, because they're like talking to like all these people who nobody ever comes on screen, and they're pulling up all these random objects like these stove burner guards to try to give basically wholesale pricing because of Whatnot shipping deal and discount. And thank you so much if you are one of the 3,000 people who have watched the video. Um, it's amazing. I mean, I did not know that Whatnot has that much effect. I did not, because it's not it's a bit, it's growing, but YouTube like hits 1 billion people, and 3,000 Whatnotters went and found my video on how to get the best shipping rates, and it's just a basic primer, um, but it wasn't recommended by Google or YouTube, and they don't have the analytics of the audience. So you watched it, watch it twice. And let me know what questions need to get included in like a 2.0. The reason I will make an update, I absolutely planned, I have to get the seller shows up first, because Jen Deals, who's running $1 million business on Pace, and Tristina, who's a professional artist. She's sponsored by a French paint company. I know how much they pay her per hour. It's an amount I would never be able to afford. They took their time to answer questions and give us insights. So I feel obligated to prioritize those videos above the other ones. But yeah, we've had some pretty good videos this year. I wish the replay feature was still replaying. But then there are some things it's like I don't ever want to see that again. Okay, so this is just like a huge bundle of floral filler. So this is gorgeous white sand. These are a bag of rocks. If you've ever wanted to give somebody a bag of rocks, I wish I could show you the Halloween episode that I did that. And it was so funny. And okay, so we'll do $3 for everything. And then this is like this charcoal sand that's got a hole in the bag, so I need to really repackage that. But you get 3 bags of floral stuff, very affordably priced. And once you pay £1 of shipping, which at the time I'm saying this is $9.21, you've paid for 5. So you can still add more and more and more. Reward coupons, please use them before they expire. I don't have a magic wand and I cannot recreate them, but they work wonderfully. So I love that. I love Whatnot rewards. I just need to adapt the pricing a little bit, because yeah, otherwise it's not, the numbers just don't work. Which is kind of silly, but okay. So this is like a decor piece. It's got this kind of like this is brand new. It's kind of got this retro design on it, and so I've been answering a few questions. I started about when I started, why I made like 4 times more sales on a site that doesn't do video. As best as I can explain that, but I can only give you my observations. And I never really went out and positioned myself as like an expert in online selling. And there are people who do that, and I hope they know what they're talking about. Oh, I should have told you. I am being financially responsible to my accountant. Do I think it's the 50-50 love-hate thing? No. I think that's a positive, believe it or not. But it's a good suggestion, because if it was truly 50-50, sales would have gone down by half. So no, I don't think it's that. I think it's just because there's so much time cost that doesn't ever get live streamed. And with the ship show, again, I don't know how many people are going to hear the complete story, but you have a seller, Jen Deals, who she started at 0. She had to apply multiple times to get approved to sell, and she did. And she is like a rocket in the beauty category, because And I'm aware of a few things about her background that she's mentioned. And actually, I think I can tell you she was born in a country outside the U.S. and her first language was not English, but she is trilingual. So her hater, which isn't me, okay? It's not me, but her hater at some point makes a remark about the way she talks, or that's part of what she's being criticized for. And having edited the video, where I've really tried to give you finished quality, I noticed what it was. It's her speech pattern is different, and it depends on if we're selling, because if we're selling we have like go-tos that we can just like quips we can just use, or if she's having to like think and give a response, because if she doesn't know exactly the word, she uses a filler phrase and then she says the word. And so I don't know if YouTube knows that you have people with biases that they may not even know or be aware of. But if you have to edit a video, you really start noticing things. I noticed that I say too often. I noticed that this was too long to go without a product running. So let's put some sunshine there. You know why these are called sunflowers? Because they always point toward the sun. And you get a really bright yellow one here. And Sammy says some people stay on for hours and it probably helps. I think you can have extremes. And early on, I decided I wasn't going to go to that extreme. But you are correct. The longer the shows, the higher the sales. And then you also have to factor in all the other, again, it's just time cost, because you're going to have to do all the other things eventually, especially feed kids, pick them up from school. So sometimes it's not worth those 2 or 3 extra sales to do another half hour. And it does, you can use your averages. I'm assuming you sell, but if you don't sell, you're a very observant buyer, Sammy. And so I have been trying to give back as much as I can, but ultimately what I've noticed is that a lot of the sellers who do seller support, like frequently, several shows a week, they're giving a lot of their time. And at a certain point, your time is worth money. If you're running $1 million business, your time is worth at least $1,000 an hour. So I've been very generous with my time. And okay, and you said Sammy says you're not yet selling. That's fine. You do think that they don't accurately value time and inventory costs. I'm agreeing, not disagreeing. You did an 8-hour show, which means packing really late into the night. Postmodern Cat, if you don't mind, give me an estimate, like for each hour you sell, because so far am I at an hour? I will have 0 shipping time. So this has been one of the most efficient shows ever. I love that about YouTube, because YouTube is going to refunnel people into Whatnot who are going to use the promotion to get the $15 to start shopping right away. So one hand feeds the other. So if people aren't wanting to buy, that's totally okay, because they are watching and they've got the live stream up and running. So YouTube is very happy when that happens. The Postmodern Cat says that it's either 1 to an hour and a half per hour sold. So it's a 1-to-1 ratio. Yeah. And I'm not telling you how to run your business. Ooh, but did you see the custom mailer? Did you see the custom mailer? If anybody remembers this person, put in the chat. Put their seller name in the chat, because I've mentioned it several times. I'll repeat it if nobody remembers who the seller is. But this custom mailer, I just was so impressed. And you know, I can't tell you price wise what what they paid or how many they ordered. However, I have given out a promo code. Yes, it's Squirrel. It's the Nutty Squirrel Boutique, and that's again just me. I would love to see it written out on here somewhere, but it's her packaging. So if her intent is to really grab somebody's attention when they first get the package, but leave it a little mysterious, she can design it that way. So giving out that what was it? Is it $10 to spend on? Yeah, $10 to spend on Sticker Mule. Um, People could have ordered like a sampler pack, and maybe for $9 it would have been five of these. You don't always have to use exactly the same thing, but if you send it to somebody like me, I'm going to make sure that other sellers see it. So maybe she's got a secret agenda, a hidden agenda, and that's basically like free advertising on YouTube, except YouTube has so much data analytics, including household income. They would know that if they wanted to just pay me, it would do them more than encouraging additional content. But that's okay. I love talking to all audiences. I'm not trilingual. Oh my gosh. The other thing I will tell you, and I'm going to tell you something. If you think that AI created this, I am very skeptical because I've been putting in AI art requests. This isn't identical to what I just had in my hand, but we're going to run it. And so let's see if it's trying to warn me if the battery's going to do something on YouTube. Is YouTube still good? And this is running for 30 seconds, $3. Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. But yeah, one thing that AI has told me the reason it can't do art is it can't tell the difference between text and like pattern. So it always distorts like text and makes it a little grotesque. And so yeah, I've been playing with the AI graphics just to see if it's possible, if a computer can actually be artistic. And if you look at the header, I haven't updated it on Whatnot, but on YouTube I have. If you look at the graphic header, I actually did eventually get that created through AI, but I did have to try like 3 different sources, and the one that I was most optimistic about did a batch of like 5 images, and I needed text removed, and I said it can't say that that's not accurate. It could not repeat. It could not just go in and use the same starting image. It was always generating an image, and then it got really weird. And I was just like in movies or like cartoons or like something that's like physically impossible, like somebody like pops out of the other end of a pipe or something, like it was starting to go there. So I was just like, no, thank you. I've tried to support my local AI friends. This is an anarchist fellowship book. So this is self-published too. And that's another neat thing I think with I'll just say more casual live selling, is that it opens up local markets to the entire world. And there are people who come into the shows and told me that they're from Canada, they're from France, and they are allowed to purchase stuff from the United States. But this could also just be something that, maybe somebody on the coast, they wouldn't be able to buy this. It's self-published. So, kind of opening up the world audience to specialty products, I think is pretty good. I definitely enjoy that feature. Um, but it does take a unique personality to effectively sell live. And I think that's the good news is I've gotten to the point where it does not intimidate me. With as little as 5 minutes, I'm ready to go on camera. And I also know that there are much more efficient business operations that can be set up. But that was not my business target. It wasn't to do $3 million in sales, and there is a seller on Whatnot that does that. Um, so uh, and I guess the other thing, since we're just having kind of this casual um, conversation. Oh, these are super lightweight. It says one says hello fall, and one says leaves. Now the reason I'm not doing $1 starts is by the time that the processing fee comes out, I don't really make money, and it costs me more in supplies to ship these than if I just put them back in the box. So we'll start them at $2 though, and I do like that Whatnot gives flexibility during an auction. So it's kind of a balance. And recently I've been getting caught up on my messages. I'm glad that Whatnot didn't put like the instant message feature as like the primary, the chat and the actual show are the primary elements. And then if you want to do private messages, it's not like an instant message application is. It's more like Yahoo email from like 2008 maybe. So, but okay, all audiences friendly. What is the funniest thing you've seen happen in a live show? I would love to know. Please don't tell me anything too extreme. But this shower curtain with this hexagon pattern is so cool. And actually, if you propped it, if you made it a prop for your background, you'd have a really unique background because you could shine light through it and it would change the look of it. But I bought this from a seller, and I think it was just because I hit free shipping, and at that point I'm filling up my box. Uh, but he does pallet pulls, so it's always unknown what he's going to offer. I didn't see anybody put anything in the chat about the funniest or strangest or weirdest thing that they saw happen on a Whatnot show. I gotta say the funniest thing I've ever sold was a broken car part. It was like it had been, I guess the car was in an accident. What part of their front grill was broken, and it was just laying on the side of the road. I thought, I would never put that on like a static site. But I'm like, I'll hold it up on Whatnot and see if anybody wants to buy it, because they might just want the emblem, and it sold. So I thought that was pretty cool. Yes, I do. Okay, I'm gonna sneak because I'm not leaving the room, but I'm gonna look and see see what I see on the screen for YouTube, because I love this. I love this. Oh, good. Okay, so I haven't missed a whole bunch in the chat, which is good. Does anybody do YouTube, like watch shows lives and like on a frequent basis and participate in the chat? Because there have been a few that I've done. Do you mind keeping the talk going? Is it natural for you? For me, and you don't YouTube. Okay, so I've gotten used to it. It's natural in a way that like the way that I process things, it's kind of like I have no filter. So there's a lot of backsplaining. And so yeah, that is natural. But eventually my voice just kind of dries out. And then I was born to talk. Ooh. Well, I don't know what you want me to say, but but yeah, so yeah, it's just one of those things. The other thing is the pace, though, and really that comes with YouTube, because you can't have any silent pauses, and your voice, like your voice speed has to be a certain rate, otherwise people will not listen to one sentence. And I think that is how like impatient we've become, because like somebody like Jen Deals, you know, she gave an hour of herself, talked about her $1 million business, how she got to where she's at now. But you'd have to watch like at least 20 minutes of footage. If you run it at double speed, it's 10 minutes. But then you'd also have to know that it's coming at the end of an hour long segment. So what you can fit in an hour, you can fit a lot in. You really can. And sometimes it sometimes it's fantastic, sometimes it's not. It's almost like, you know, the way they used to slot, and maybe they still do it this way, but they slot in different show hosts for like HSN and QVC, which is the same company now. Um, so they know the time is filled, and then the show hosts uh, just try to sell as many product units as possible. But I was thinking about this too because I've been holding up like Happy a lot lately, like Happy Birthday. This banner is one of the worst design products the way it's shown here because getting it to turn and change direction is difficult. I have done it. It has video proof that I can't access, but um, you could also remove birth and you could just put Happy Day. And so you'd have all the letters there. Or if you can come up with a rude phrase, you can make this into whatever you want to make it into. And if that were the case, I would definitely want you to wear a little hat. So I think there's maybe about a dozen. I'll just pull this out. I don't want you guys to think you're getting the leftovers. I think you're getting the unfound treasures. And okay, well, so if nobody wants to tell me about anything that they've seen in a show that's been a little weird or a little off, um, I'm not gonna force it out of you guys, but I will tell you, I will generally not try to interrupt anybody's show. I mean, every seller has to run their own business, and you've got to at least cover your costs. So we're gonna make this a $3 combo, but I did see a recent show. It was like a new seller because a lot of people say my first show. And so it's a new seller. It may have said my first show. And they were selling a product that I don't think was labeled properly because depending on the products you sell, sometimes you have to have certain things on the product label. They were selling liquids that contained essential oils and it was like cleaning products. And so I tried to hint to the host. I asked, you know, what are the ingredients, and he didn't have a quick good answer. The bottom line is, based on my like 5 seconds of research, you're not required to list every ingredient by the main rule that applies on cleaning products, but you do have to list ingredients. And then there's another set of enhanced regulation that applies in 3 states that basically you do have to list every ingredient. So Barbara Florentine, when are you going to come on the Ship Show and co-host with me? It's always going to be a slot 1 p.m. on Thursday. We have one coming up this Thursday. There's going to be an episode, but I've scheduled those all for the rest of the year. For those who do not know Barbara, and are you familiar with Tristina, who does live art shows? Because I think you two do things, but you do it opposite, and I just love that. I love that you can do both on the same site and sell stuff. So everybody, Barbara knows everybody on Whatnot. I finally found Cheryl's Crafty World. Oh, I've been talking about this. I have been talking about how perfect I love her sticker. And Tristina Does Rock, I have an episode of the Ship Show that will, within a week, appear on my YouTube channel because she was gracious and kind enough to tell us how to ship art. And so I just want you to know that. And for anybody who doesn't understand what I'm talking about, just Stay Home to Shop, all one word, common spelling on YouTube. That's how you can find all of these videos, and also how you can find me on Whatnot. so you don't have to change a letter. And Barbara is reminding me that Tristina is an art teacher, free classes on Sundays here on Whatnot. The other thing that is unique with Tristina is she works in so many different mediums because she can do watercolors and she can do acrylics and she can do oils and she can do, and typically artists choose. Um, but she can do any of them and all of them. And I already showed you guys what I bought from her, but I didn't show you the watercolor. Okay, so anyway, this I thought was so cute. This came on the outside of a package I opened. I forget what I bought from her. It doesn't matter. The fact is, I still remember the seller, and so she had like a purple package plain, and then she put this over as the seal, and I just thought that is perfect because she has such a good photo. I'm not going to forget it even if I can't find it. There have been probably at least half a dozen shows where I've said, I'm going to show it, I'm going to show it. I can't find it. I found it. This is your lucky day. Whether you're a pink or a blue, this is your lucky day. You'll do play. Yes. Okay. So I'll private message Barbara about doing a play date in May. But yeah, the whole year we're going to keep going. The only complication is since Whatnot no longer has the past shows feature, I'm putting them on YouTube because even though on the Ship Show I don't really sell, I just people tip me, or if they need a quick supply, or we're gonna sell something to show Whatnot. It wasn't a total free ride, whatever. But I don't really sell much, so the point is I leave them up so people can watch them for the information, and the questions are really good. But since that's not there, I'll just take them over to YouTube, and they'll last a little bit longer. But without the chat, you don't understand the whole conversation. So I have been, hi Crafty Teacher. This we're gonna do 2 for 3, just because we're having a really fun time, and I'm seeing names that I often want to see on the site, but if you're on at different times, and oh, I just need to push the button there. Okay, lightweight. So yeah, I was talking about like one of the weirdest things I saw. I saw somebody basically trying to sell a homemade cleaning product, but didn't have any ingredients listed. But the packaging was professional. The packaging was made by a packaging company. It had art, it had logos and stuff. And I don't know that they know that. That is important. So I give every benefit of the doubt. I'm assuming it was a display prop. It might have been a prototype, but when they actually send the item, I'm sure it's going to have the required information because they all have to say what's inside. There are rules about that, but once it goes out on the internet, it's on the internet. So anybody can go at them and say, do not, they don't even tell, they won't even tell you what's inside and make all sorts of nasty comments. But I wasn't trying to stir up a controversy. I was just gently trying to suggest, you need to have the ingredients on the bottle. And this is somebody brand new. So I also used a red line chat. Did you know that you can do that if you needed to send me a message, but you didn't want the rest of the chat to see it? You could put a naughty word in that, and it's going to redline it. It's going to censor it. But sometimes people will do that to communicate with the host, especially the moderators, because the moderators can see those too. Okay, so we didn't get any takers on this. Thank you, Barbara. You tipped me $5. You are so... Barbara's worth $1 million. And you know what, Barbara? Why don't we start a giveaway? Because I was going to give away $1,000 as a prize. Where is it? Oh, I lost my $1,000 stack. Oh, it's here. Okay, here we go. Are you ready? So I was gonna give these as giveaways, but the pace and the conversation. Thank you. I will have a fantastic week. But I'll do this as a giveaway. So you'll get $1,000 note this is what's on the back, but it's just such a good prop, and we'll do that, and we just have to create one quick, add a product. If I put it in the sticker category, it will ship out for 73 cents because it fits inside of an envelope. After the show, however, it would go back to a package rate, which is probably going to be four to $6. So it's much better to buy stickers and anything flat that fits in an envelope during a show. Uh, Giveaway. And the shipping is going to be letter mail. And so I don't know. It's funny. It's really strange for me because I have a different perspective now that I've been through a year on Whatnot. I have not abandoned ship or given up hope. Um, but I realized, I have to change